Welcome. Every so often you see a collection of headlines that, on their own, are interesting, but when you put them all together, well, they start to tell a much bigger story. Today, we're going to connect those dots: finance, defense, science, and yeah, even sports to get a real snapshot of a nation on the move. So let's dive right in. So that's the big question, right? How do you actually tell that story? Is it just one big news report? Or is it something more? We think it's in the symphony of all these different things happening at once. It's like finding puzzle pieces, from the hum of the economy to the absolute roar of a stadium, and seeing how they all fit together. And really, for any country with big ambitions, the story has to start with its economic engine. I mean, think about it. A nation's power to build, to innovate, to protect itself, it's all tied directly to its financial health. And lately, India's economic engine just kicked into a whole new gear. The big story here is this landmark moment in the country's finances. We're talking about India's goods and services tax, the GST. It's a huge indicator of economic activity, and it didn't just break a record, it absolutely smashed it. Just look at this number, 2.10 lakh crore rupees. To put that in perspective, that's over 25 billion US dollars in a single month. This was the GST collection for April 2024, and it's the highest it has ever been. It blew past that big symbolic 2 lakh crore mark for the very first time. It's just a massive signal that people are buying, businesses are selling, and the economy is absolutely buzzing. Now, what's really important to see here is that this wasn't some random one-off spike. This represents a solid 12.4% growth compared to the year before. That steady climb tells you there's real sustained momentum here, and it's being driven by a huge increase in domestic sales. So yeah, the takeaway is this is a trend, not just a fluke. And check this out. This growth isn't just concentrated in a few big cities. This shows just how widespread the economic energy is. You've got Mizoram in the northeast with a staggering 52% growth. Assam was 25%. And then, of course, the major hubs like Delhi and Maharashtra are seeing strong growth too. It really is a national story. So, when you have a strong economy providing that fuel, what can a nation do? Well, it can invest in its own security, its own sovereignty. A healthy treasury allows for a powerful defense. Let's see how that translates to securing India's incredibly long coastline. All right, so on March 31st, 2024, the Indian Navy welcomed a new guardian to its fleet, the INS Malwan. And this isn't just any ship. It's a state-of-the-art vessel built for a very specific and very critical mission. So the INS Malwan is what they call an anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft. What does that mean? Well, its whole job is to be a silent hunter close to the shore. These coastal waters are exactly where enemy submarines could be the biggest threat to ports and cities. So you can think of it as a high-tech shield for the shoreline. And this thing is packed with modern tech. It's fast, it can hit 25 knots, it's got a great range of 1,800 nautical miles, and it has some seriously advanced sonar to find those underwater threats. It's a nimble, powerful addition to the fleet. And, this is key, it was built right there in India, at the Cochin shipyard. And that brings us to maybe the most important point about the INS Malwan. With over 80% of its parts being indigenous, this ship is a huge win for India's mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliant India. See, this isn't just about buying a new ship. It's about building an entire defense industry from the ground up. It's about having that sovereign power, from the drawing board all the way to delivery. Okay, so we've seen present-day economic strength and military strength. But let's pivot now to where India is investing for the future. Because a strong nation doesn't just protect itself today, right? It prepares its people and it explores new frontiers for tomorrow. And what's so cool is that this is happening on two really different but equally fascinating fronts. On one side, you have the exploration of inner space, unlocking the potential of the human mind with AI in schools. And on the other, an exploration of what you could call Earth's final frontier, the deep, dark, uncharted ocean. So a whole new national curriculum is being rolled out to teach artificial intelligence, starting in elementary school. Just imagine, kids in classes 3 to 5 are learning the basics of data and logic. By the time they're in middle school, they're already getting into core AI concepts. This is all about preparing an entire generation for the digital world, making sure they're creators of technology, not just users. And at the very same time, India is turning its focus downward, into the vast, mysterious world of its deep oceans. A part of our planet we actually know less about than the surface of the moon. And this is Bhavasagar. It's India's first ever national archive for deep sea life, located in Kochi. This center is now the official keeper for any new species discovered in India's waters. It's a massive step for science, for conservation, and for building what's called a blue economy. Basically, it's about understanding our planet's secrets before we can benefit from them. So we've got a strong economy, a secure nation, a clear vision for the future, but the story just isn't complete without those moments that bring 1.4 billion people together with a single shared emotion. And that brings us to the emotional peak of our story, a champion's roar that was heard all around the world. Oh man, the T20 World Cup final, it was an absolute nail-biter. India puts up a good score, but then South Africa's Klassen and Miller just staged this incredible comeback. It felt like the game was slipping away. It all came down to the final moments. The last over. David Miller launches the ball, it's sailing towards the boundary, everyone thinks it's a 6, and then Surya Kumar Yadav pulls off this miraculous, physics-defying catch right on the edge. He literally snatched an impossible victory from the jaws of defeat. Unbelievable. And then came the moments that gave everyone goosebumps. Virat Kohli, the player of the match, announced his retirement from T20 internationals right then and there. I mean, to end a legendary career with a match-winning performance in a World Cup final, it's something straight out of a movie. The perfect ending on the biggest stage. And this wasn't just any win. It was the cherry on top of a perfect, undefeated run through the entire tournament. This was India's first T20 World Cup title in 17 long years. A truly dominant, historic, and unforgettable victory. So when you step back and connect all these dots, the picture becomes so much clearer, doesn't it? You've got the record-breaking tax numbers, the launch of a self-built naval ship, the investment in AI education and deep-sea science, and the sheer joy of a world championship. See, these aren't separate stories at all. They're all chapters in the very same book. Each one of these headlines shows you a different side of a nation's personality. Its economic grit, its drive for independence, its vision for the future, and its passionate, beating heart. It really leaves us with a fascinating question, doesn't it? If this is a snapshot of India today, what on earth will its next chapter look like?
Thanks for tuning in.